The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the June 9th, the magical Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day, and let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email. Send it off early. Send it to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, and you should be, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Magical Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Well, we got a bit of a mixed bag out there. We've got the Dow down 100 points, the New York Stock Exchange off about 42. Other UNSC's trading the upside. Leader up here is the semis. They're up 129 points. That's a 2.5% move. S&P's up 7 points. NASDAQ 174. Russell's up 10. Transport's up 87. Out there, you've got gold that is trading down $3. Silver up 63 pennies. Natural gas, light sweet crude is up 55 cents. With natural gas taking quite a hit, that is down 15 cents this morning. That's a 4% move there. If we look at signals along the right-hand panel, it says D, TD9 count. That's identifying if you got a star next to a number that's an 8 or a 9, or it could be even a 1 out there. That's telling you you've got a confirmed or likely to have a confirmed TD9 count top. If it's got bar number 9, it's already confirmed the pattern, completed it today. If it's got bar number 8, it does here. If you take a look at the S&P 500, just disregard the profile levels that show up on my screen out here. But what you'll see is that bar number 8 successfully formed on Friday. It was the high of the pattern. That's why it's got the star, likely to go ahead and complete a TD or confirm a TD9 count top today. In order to do that, the S&P cash index just simply needs to close above 5970.37. Now, the interesting thing here for us to take a look at, even on the S&P cash index out here, excuse me, and again, don't pay attention to the profiles that show up here. So we got a daily top for the S&P that's going to go ahead and confirm today, complete tomorrow. We also have on a weekly time frame, no top at all. Price trade above profile resistance, price trade above its oscillator and change line. No topping signal. This is suggesting that this should make a move up to 61.47. So the top inside the S&P 500, the key here to be watching is going to be that oscillator and change line, which right now is printed out at 59.84. But that's going to change, obviously, as the numbers change. But if you take a look at the monthly time frame chart, prices rallied right up into where it could easily turn back down here, but as long as it remains above that green oscillator and change line, 59.97. See, we're just 13 points above that level. That could change in a breath. But as long as price remains above that oscillator and change line, those are bullish conditions. We're above it on the weekly. We're above it on the daily. So we really got a topping signal on a daily time frame that's somewhat neutral. Now, what that would suggest is that if price were to close below its daily oscillator and change line, I would say the downside target quarter would be the weekly oscillator and change line at about 58.40 out there. So as we won't go spend any time on the indices, at least not just yet, but you kind of get a feel for what's going on. The spot VIX index there, here's an example. Spot VIX index went ahead and is going to go ahead and form a TD9 count bottom pattern today for its daily time frame. Does that matter? It's worth paying attention. Take a look at the VIX on a weekly basis. You remember that we made that bottom on April the 7th out there. The week of April 11th was also a TD9 count top for the weekly time frame. But what we're looking at here in the VIX is the daily time frame. So as we open up the chart here, we can go back and say, do the TD9 counts work for the spot VIX? Well, if we take a look at the bottom, there was a TD9 count pattern that formed on March the 26th. That most certainly worked because you got that VIX that made that run up to the $60 level. We then had another TD9 count bottom that forms out here right on May 2nd, May 5th. We did get a rally, a couple of day rally up there. We then have another TD9 count bottom forms May 16th. We had more than a several day rally. That took price right up to its TD9 count breakdown resistance area at 2562. So we're going to get another one. Another bottoming pattern today. That is, unless the VIX were to rally and close above today. This would be specifically today. If the VIX were to close above 1769, it'll negate the whole pattern whatsoever. It won't even exist out there. We also have, coming off of the highs out here, Basil probably picked up on this this morning, we are now in wave number 7. That is letter G on the spot VIX index. That too, can be a bottoming pattern out there. So that's what's going on with the VIX. If we take a look at the real estate sector, XLRE. Real estate sector looks like it's getting ready to top out. It's got a TD9 count pattern that's going to go ahead and form today. We just want to understand where bar number 5 is at. So bar number 5's close for the XLRE is 4161. As long as price closes above that, you'll have a TD9 count top. Now, the key here is price is also trading above its oscillator and change line. So in order to get any downside traction, it has to lose its momentum, and it will need a close below 4170. If it does that, then 40, 46, 39, 98 would be its downside targets. You'd have to be careful with the weekly chart as well because it does have support at about the 41, 49 level. So price would need to get below that as well. If we take a look at some of the popular stocks out here, the top 8 inside the NDX 100, if we look at NVIDIA will complete a TD9 count topping pattern today. Now, the cool thing about any pattern out here is when they complete, this one here is very specific, is that, they can fail. How would you know if this one fails? Well, if we get a close above today's high, whatever that is, as of 11:13 in the morning, today's high is 145 even Steven. No idea whether that's going to be day's high at day's end. Let's assume that it is. If price closes above that tomorrow and negates that signal, tells you that this thing is ready to move higher. The weekly chart for NVIDIA is in bar number 8 this week. Now, that says that you could get a top between this week and the next 2 out there. So caution when you've got a daily topping signal and a monthly or a daily topping signal and a weekly that says, okay, I may be getting ready to top too. Now, in the case of the monthly time frame, it says I still want to go at least at a minimum tag resistance. And resistance is the top of its profile, 146.89. But when it's going to do that, hard to say out here. Now, I do have a 30-minute time frame chart for NVIDIA on my screen. That's not showing any signs of a top. Of course, we want to take a look at the other 3 or 4 intraday time periods as well. So we got plenty to look at. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. That means we'll start looking at CrowdStrike, IBRX, CFLT, QBTS, the TLT, the 30-year Treasury. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Let's take a quick peek here at the primary cash indices, so you just get a feel for what kind of signals they've got. So if we look at the Dow Jones out here, it's got a TD9 count topping pattern that's in place. That would get negated with a close above the high from May 19th. That's at 42,842. So you've got that top in place. You've got a wave number 7 top. If we don't take out Friday's high, which is 42,924.56, you confirm that top. The S&P cash index, it's going to form that TD9 count. We've already gone through that. You already have a completed TD9 count pattern, or completes today inside the NDX cash index. You've got a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. That would be negated with a close above 21,891.89. In each of these cases here, these 3, you can see, and even 4 or all of them, prices trade above those green oscillator and change lines. And so that's really the key level of support that prices got to close below in order to suggest that the top could have some type of traction downside. In the case of the Russell 2000, it's got wave number 7 out there. It's also trying to, it's got wave number 7 pattern. That needs a lower high to confirm. Tomorrow would be the earliest. The semis, which were a rip roar into the upside, they negated a TD9 count topping pattern last week. They still have a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal. The semis need a bearish reversal candle to confirm a top. Now, they don't have to top on the same day, meaning the semis and everything else, but the market's not going to top unless the semis top as well. And they do not have a topping. They've got a topping signal, no confirmed pattern. Again, they needs a bearish reversal candle to confirm its top. Transports have a TD9 count top that is still in place out here. The NASDAQ Composite completes its TD9 count topping pattern today. The New York Stock Exchange will go ahead and form a TD9 count top today, as long as price closes below the close of bar number 5. The close of bar number 5 is 19,912.38 out there. So again, the market's giving us a signal that it wants to top, but it's got to lose that momentum. It's got to get below that green oscillator unchanged line out there. So this is how we would share that before we start getting into the requests. There are quite a few now. I saw quite a number of them come in by email out here. So let's start getting to those so we don't fall behind. The first one coming from David in Panama City wants to take a look at CrowdStrike. If you give me a moment, we'll actually get over to the CrowdStrike charts out there, that would be helpful for both me and David and you as well. CRWD is the ticker symbol. Now, David's question is, he's wondering if it can clear the high out here. The high that he's looking at is June 3rd. That high is 491. If it clears that high, where is it headed to? So first, let's answer the question. Where is it headed to? There's a couple of different A to B equals CD patterns. I've got one on the monthly time frame chart and another on the weekly chart. The monthly chart has got a price projection somewhere up about the 505.55 level. So you're wondering if price gets above that high in the daily time frame, where is it headed to? I would say it would go ahead and start to complete or get up towards that 1-to-1 price objective level of that A to B equals CD. The A point that I started here, David, was back in January of 2023. We can see that we are also potentially in wave number 7. We've got a wave number 7 signal. We also have a bar number 8 that is likely to form this week, this month, I should say. It says TD9 count basis, you could have a top between this month and the next 2. Wave number 7, you just need a lower high. That can't complete until the end of next month. Says caution, though, David. If you look at the weekly time frame chart, you're going to complete a TD9 count top this week. Yes, there's a confirmed A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. That confirmed A to B equals CD pattern gets you up towards the 552 level. However, we have to respect another pattern that is out there, that TD9 count. In fact, the last time we had a TD9 count and wave number 7 was back on July the 12th. We saw quite a move to the downside. Not saying that's the same move we're going to see at this stage here, but this is suggesting to you and I that at the end of this week, price should start beginning to pull back to its oscillator and change line, currently printed 446.28. The daily time frame chart, because of these A to B equals CD patterns that we've got out here, the daily chart actually completed, and there's another A to B equals CD pattern. It completed a sell the D point top on the trading day of June 4th when price gapped to the downside. That was your bearish reversal candle. Price has gone up and it's closed that gap. It got down to the low of June 3rd out there, but it didn't close inside that candle. So it still's got a topping pattern out there, but where we've got support is a couple different places. 422.09 will be your ultimate support. Your buy zone is between 434 and 438, and the top of the profile would be the next level of support on any move to the downside, 456. So your suggestion is, hey, you're asking me where does price go to if it takes out that high? I provided you with those two A to B equals CD patterns for the weekly and the monthly. I would be cautious here with regard to the signals that we're looking at for crowd strikes. So I hope that helps you out, David. As always, thanks so much for taking the time to write in. Dan inside the Tiger's Den would like to take a look at IBRX. IBRX, the question is this getting ready to run? Well, on a daily basis, it went ahead and confirmed an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside on the trading day of Friday, June the 6th. You had volume on that bar of 18 million shares, taking out a swing point that had 12 million shares. Your 1-to-1 price projection around 364. Don't quote me to the penny on that. But yeah, you've got an A to B equals CD pattern on the upside. Now, Dan, I haven't done the retracement here on the speed of C leg. Looks like less than a 0.618 retracement. Odds favor that this would do more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. However, on its way to 364, price has got to contend with its weekly TD9 count breakdown resistance level. And that's at 351. So that's the area that first price needs to close above before we can get to 364. Another level of contention is the bottom of the monthly profile. The monthly profile here is at 346. So you got 346, 351. Those are where, you got to put on your fasten seatbelt sign at this, or you got to put on your seatbelt. I'll put on the fasten seatbelt sign out here. You're going to run into some potential rough air out here between that 346, 351 level. But once you get through that air, then yeah, it's ready to run at least a 364, but likely higher out there. So Dan, I hope that helps you out with regard to what my eyes are seeing when we look at IBRX. Duncan Steve wants to go take a look at ticker symbol CFLT. CFLT is going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count topping pattern today for its daily time frame. Dunk, that says that price should now pull back to support. The first level of support would be the top of his profile. That's at 2366. The second level would be that green oscillator and change line, and that's at about 2312. Now, here's the deal. If you're trying to enter a long position inside CFLT, what you'd really love You'd love to see price pull back, test, and reject that green oscillator and change line. When it changes from red to green or green to red, but in this case here, we're talking about from red to green, tells us the price oscillator at that point in time has just moved above the zero threshold level. When you get above zero threshold, conditions are basically favorable or bullish out there. What I have found is that when that line changes color and price pulls back or rallies into it, whichever one we're looking at here, in this case here, it'd be a retracement. And if it tests and rejects that is your entry point, or can be an entry point out there. What happens if price closes below it? Tells us that it's lost momentum. We have to look for the next level of support. In CFLT, that'd be at 2202 to be exact. Now, when we look at the weekly time frame, price is just simply trading inside its profile. It hasn't gotten up to the sell zone. The sell zone here for the weekly time frame is 2564 to 2858. Monthly time frame, you're inside its profile out there. So nothing wrong with the weekly, nothing wrong with the monthly. It's a daily that you've got to keep an eye on. Now, remember, Steve-O, if price begins trading over the high of the pattern, and right now that would be the high from Friday, and the high from Friday is 25.20. If price closes above that, then you're off to the 27.63 level. But I'd say in the short term, I would expect or anticipate CFLT to retrace for at least a couple of days and retrace back towards 23.13, 23.66. We'll be right back.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs? Trade wars? Analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back up, folks. We got ticker symbol QBTS. Unfortunately, I didn't write down who had made that request, so my apology for that. When we take a look at QBTS, I'll start on the monthly time frame chart. You can see this has been a rocket ship ever since November 2024. Just a beautiful rocket ship to the upside. No topping pattern or anything along those lines out there that I see. Weekly time frame has got a nice A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. No bearish reversal candle. Rhodes momentum indicator signal, but no bearish reversal candle as well. So that looks strong, wants to continue to move higher. The daily time frame out here does have a sell the D point top. So that sell the D point top would have formed back here on May the 27th. And what you need to see, that's a bearish engulfing candle. So in order for this to really get its mojo to the upside, you need to see price close above the high of May 23rd. That high is 1977. Now, that candle session, that swing point, well, again, May 23rd, volume there, 148 million shares. We've been trading for 2 hours, and this is on 32 million shares. So it's basically on a 90-ish million share a day, 90-ish going against 148. So you are at least moving into that swing point with lighter volume. But price remains above its oscillator and change line, remains above the top of its profile. Odds favor, at least at this stage here, that it wants to go tackle that high out there. And if it can close above, again, 1977, you'll be back off to the races to the upside. Whoever was looking for QBTS. Dan wants to take a look at the TLT. Thoughts are that maybe the TLT. Oh, that was for you too. Oh, great, Dunk. Thanks for letting me know. Dan's thinking that the TLT might be getting ready to take off to the upside out here. So as we take a look at the TLT, Dan, first thing is, do I have a bottom pattern? And the answer to that question is probably really have to work at it. To find a bottom pattern out here. There's certainly, I'd have to go back to see maybe there's some larger A to B equals CD, but it doesn't look to me like this one here that I'm drawing in, that this one has completed. Yeah, no way. So I don't really have a bottom. Now, do you have to have one of Stevie's bottom patterns to bottom? No, you don't. What you do need, though, then, would be to close above the top of its profile resistance for at least 2 consecutive sessions. It hasn't done that. So we are basically consolidating with inside the profile. That's between 83.66 and 86.53. Both, in essence, have been tested. Both, in essence, have been rejected. How about in the weekly time frame? Weekly time frame, price is consolidating between the bottom of its profile and center of its profile. That's between 84.19 and 86.86. Well, we got that 86.53 on the daily. So if you clear the 86.86 level, then I think you've got merit to suggest to move up towards the 89.28, 89.52 level, the latter being the profile from the weekly chart, the former being in the TD9 count breakdown level on the daily time frame. The monthly is trading below profile support at 86.57. You've got a nice Rhodes momentum indicator bottom out here. That one had confirmed in November of 2023, but it's just basically been a sideways consolidation move. Is price going to get ready to break out of the consolidation? I don't know. But when we look at the monthly time frame chart, you can see that we're near the bottom of the consolidation. So if ever there was a time to go ahead and take a trade and act on your inclination, I'd say, this is a good time period to do that. Maybe price gets back and tests the 84.19 level. That would be the bottom of that weekly profile. No idea whether it will or it won't, but you do have that monthly consolidation, at least from a trading standpoint, and you're down towards the bottom of that, to consider taking that trade. Now, it's not just the 30-year treasury that's inside the TLT. You've got all kinds of expiring bonds that are inside there with all kinds of durations. If we do take a look at the 30-year treasury out here, with the daily time frame, I've only got daily and intraday charts out here. The daily time frame shows it consolidates with inside its profile. So support here, which is held, is right around the 111.30 level, and resistance being up at the 113.24 area. So again, worthwhile to pay attention to that. 5-hour time frame chart, no bottom signal. 4-hour time frame chart, just price trading with inside profile. 2-hour time frame chart, price trading with inside profile. Now there I do have bottom patterns, both for the 4-hour Yeah, for the 4-hour and the 2-hour, they have by the D-point bottom patterns. Rhodes momentum indicator signal on the 16-minute time frame chart. So what you'd like to see here, Dan, is you'd like to see price take out its TD9 count top. And that TD9 count top is at 112.10. So to the extent you would use the 30-year to make your decision, you'd love to see price close above that, negate that signal, you start headed to the upside out there. So that's what I've got for you with regard to the TLT and the 30-year. Hope that helps you out. Tim writes in and is asking, is NVTS in breakout mode? I don't know the answer to that question. Let's see if we can figure it out. First, can Stevie find it? Where did he put it? There we go. How about that on the first try? So we look at NVTS out here, Tim. First, on the monthly time frame, you've got a nice TD9 count bottom pattern. That TD9 count bottom pattern formed back in November of 2024. Now you have price that is trading above its TD9 count breakdown level. That was courtesy of the TD9 count pattern. And if this can close the month above 740, no longer it remains above 740, the more likely is you're going to see NVTS rally up towards 1117. That would be the top of its monthly profile. This is a bullish structured profile as well. So closing above that 740 at the end of the month would be all out bullish. The weekly time frame says hold your horses out there. In the weekly time frame says, I'm now ready to form bar number 8 of a TD9 count. Okay, cool. But what that also means here, Tim, is that the high could come between this week and the next two. So what's the daily tell us? Daily says, all right, got to be a little bit careful. I haven't seen this many G's inside my system, but here you've got another wave number 7 G pattern out there. This one might even qualify as Basil's rogue wave, but I don't know that to be the case out there. But you do have that wave number 7. Other than that, you don't have any kind of topping pattern. Prices trading above the top of its new profile that had formed on Thursday of last week, or Friday of last week, I should say. And that's above 711. So summarize this for us, Steve-O. You got that wave number 7 on the daily time frame. If you get a lower high, it's going to confirm that pattern. Price ought to pull back to 711. If 711 doesn't hold it, it'll be a pullback towards 603. The weekly time frame says just be cautious for the next couple of weeks out there. Keep an eye on it. And the monthly chart says, hey, man, come on, guys, get your act together because I'm getting ready to roll up towards that 1117 area. So, Tim, is it in a breakout area? It is breaking out, but you've got these topping signals, and that just suggests caution, Will Robinson. Not sell. I mean, you would never sell a $7, even short a $7 instrument anyways. But that's the signals that I got daily, weekly, and monthly. Let's take a look at CLSK. This would be for LB, and LB is looking for an entry point into this. So CLSK, on the monthly time frame here, what we're looking at, LB, is prices right at an area where price could turn down. In other words, it's this oscillator and change line, which is held as resistance, quite frankly, since November of 2024. And if price this month can close above it, it being 973, that would be a bullish outcome. When we come back from this break, we'll take a look at the weekly TD9 count bottom and where price is headed to from here. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Hey, folks, sorry about that. Apparently we had some kind of audio issue on my part, but I'll just repeat what it was that I was saying out there. So, again, my apology. So let's take a look at CLSK. We were looking at the monthly chart before we went to the break. And so on the monthly time frame chart here, we know that price is up against the level of resistance. LB is looking for an entry point. So the likely, if this in fact holds, this area here, The entry point might be somewhere near the bottom of its daily profile, which is $9.18 out there. This could be day number one of a retracement, but time will tell. If it is, you'll be expecting or anticipating a 2 to 4 day retracement. The weekly chart is really bullish from the standpoint it's got a TD9 count bottom pattern. Price has been above the top of its weekly profile for 4 or 5 weeks. It should make that run for 1144. But the first thing is dealing with the daily time frame chart and the monthly time frame chart. So that's what I see there, LB. Hope that helps you out. And let's go to the next request, which was to take a look at natural gas. So let me get up the kind of the day trading charts out there, the daily, and then its intraday charts. And Joe is looking to take a long position in natural gas. So natural gas right now is consolidated with inside its bearish structured daily profile. So what that would then suggest, tell you, here's how I'm going to take a look at it. So I'm going to actually start from the shortest time frame first, and then let's kind of walk through that. So on a 10-minute basis, you got a nice TD9 count bottom, forms at 1020 this morning. Prices rallied up into not necessarily resistance, but sometimes support can become resistance, and that's the TD9 count support level at 367. So prices run into that, and right now that's acting as a resistance level. If in fact price can get above 367, it ought to make a run to 374. Since resistance is holding, price might pull back and test the 363 level. On a 15-minute time frame chart out here, maybe there's an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. Let me just open this up here. Yeah, there's an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. That's been completed. This is ready to rally more, so it's just really going to be waiting on the 10-minute time frame chart. Can it clear this 367 level? The 30-minute time frame chart also would have a buy the D point bottom pattern. Price is trading above profile resistance. Right now taking on a oscillator and change line. That's good. The weekly, the 60-minute time frame chart does not have a bottom pattern. Price is trading below profile resistance at 368. The 120-minute time frame chart could form a Gartley buy pattern to buy the D point. This bar completes at 12 noon. We got 14 minutes. It's a bullish piercing candle. So you've got a bottom signal there, a bottom signal in a 240. The bottom signal on the 5-hour time frame chart would just simply point back and holding support at 364. The daily holding 363. So if you really want to, you could. We've got bottoms on some of those, most of those intraday charts out there. The issue we're dealing with on the daily time frame is going to be the top of its profile, which is 375. We closed above that on Friday. But we're back below it, so it says Friday's message was a false breakout signal. That is, unless we close back above 3.759. Ideally, what you'd like to see here then is a close above Friday's high at $3.18 to suggest that maybe you've got a bottom inside of natural gas. So, Joe, hope that helps you out. As always, thanks for your request. Next request coming in from Greg. Greg wants to take a look at ticker symbol FMC. FMC, yep, that is not it. Where did Stevie put FMC? Or do I have something going on here? There we go. So we take a look at FMC. Greg, FMC is going to go ahead and confirm a daily TD9 count top today. It'll complete that pattern tomorrow. What you should expect or anticipate is a 2 to 4 day pullback. Price should target 40.98 to 40.64. That's the top of its profile. That's its green oscillator and change on in a daily time frame. The weekly time frame, which has a nice Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern, price is taking on a swing point resistance level from March 21st. The high is 43.60. 47 million shares traded that week. Last week we were up into it with 11 million shares. Wow, that's slight volume. Nonetheless, we're trading above last week's high, but I think it's a daily. That's the one you've really got to be keeping your eye on here, Greg, because of that daily TD9 count top. The monthly chart for FMC looks really good. You got a nice Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. So my assumption is you're either in this or you're trying to get in this. If you're trying to get in this or you want to add to it, a pullback back towards 40.64 would be a real nice, would likely be a nice setup, unless there's major volume coming out of it at that stage. You also want to take a look at ticker symbol FLR. So let's get that up on our screen out here. We take a look at FLR, Greg. This is bullish on the daily time frame. Nice gap to the upside. It has triggered on Friday. It triggered a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. It is still present. If you were to see a bearish reversal candle, then you'd have a top out there and price would pull back towards 42.97. Below that, you would be looking at a move towards 39.30. Weekly time frame chart is bullish. TD9 count bottom. It's got a profile change in trend. Intermediate term term, it wants to go target 80.47. The monthly time frame, price has held its breakout level of 28.02, so the work to the downside likely has been done. The confirmation of that will be a monthly close above its green oscillator and change line. That is currently printing at 45.74. That's your resistance level out there. In essence, is that 45.74-ish type area out there, Greg. So that's what I see when we take a look at FLR. GTE writes in, likes to take a look at his or her favorite stock, and that is XPEV, which is always hard for Stevie to evaluate on the daily time frame because of those currency revaluations out there. On a weekly time frame, you've got nothing more than just a consolidation with inside its profile, and that range between 15.97 and 24.67. But your real resistance level right now on any rally on a weekly basis is we're at 21.07, so it's 21 and change out there. So I hope that helps you out. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We get back from this break. Brent wrote in, would like to take a look at BGTS. So let's go do that.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back. BGS, not BGTS, is a ticker symbol for Brent that we're taking a look at. Brent is long. Brent, you got to love the daily time frame. Rhodes momentum indicator bottom pattern forms here on the trading day of May the 30th. Nice bullish engulfing candle. Today, price is trading above the top of its profile. That's at 447. Two closes above 447, and we get a profile change in trend for the daily time frame to add to your Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. The weekly time frame has a wave number 7 bottom that formed week of May 23rd, 4 weeks ago. Now what price is doing is taking on its key resistance point. There's really two of them, Brent, on the weekly basis. The first one is the oscillator and change line where it's at right now, 478. So if price can close above that, then that would be a bullish outcome. However, the top of its profile is 495. So you're in that area right now where this has got to prove itself to you by closing above 478 and then by closing above the 495 level. If it does that, and the monthly is also in wave number 7, and so if this is in rally mode, you're going to get a confirmed wave number 7 signal on a monthly basis. If you got a bullish reversal candle, you'd also get a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. So clear 495, and BGS should be on its way to at least a 625 area. The area where price would run into a counter trend move to the upside would be between 6.25 and 665. That's that bullish structured zone on the monthly time frame that price has been below now for what appears to be 2 months. Certainly 1 month last month, but this month too as well. So that's what we see. We take a look at BGS. Thanks for writing in. Hope that helps you out. Let's close out the show by taking a look at the request from GT. Wants to look at the Hang Seng. The Hang Seng here negated a TD9 count top a while ago. It's going to run into resistance overnight, which is at 24, 230, 72. If price is able to clear that, you're back towards its highs. The weekly time frame says you should get back to its highs, which was a TD9 count top out there, and the monthly looks good as well. So folks, thanks so much for joining me today. Stay tuned for all the great programming. I'll be back with you with Tommy at about 3:15. Have a magical Monday. Be safe and take care.